Hello everyone, and welcome back to Inside ArtScroll, where the books you read and the people who write them come to life. Today I am privileged to be joined by Reb Shloimi Steinmetz of Montreal, the dedicator and sponsor of the new ArtScroll book on Ani Maamin. And Reb Shloime, it's a big zechus to speak to you. It's the first time I'm getting to meet you since the p'tira of your son Dovi, a p'tira that really shook the whole world, along with the p'tiras of the other victims, kedoshim of Meron. You've influenced and inspired literally tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of people with your reaction, with your initiatives, and most prominently, your undertaking of spreading and teaching Klal Yisrael to appreciate the fundamentals of Ani Maamin. And that's what I'd like to discuss with you. Tell us about some of the history behind why you decided that Ani Maamin should be kind of the zecher, the legacy of Dovi.
This is not something that I decided. This is something that I wish to decided. It came the way it started. We got up from Shiva on Erev Shabbos, and Aruv, Rabbi Yaakov Uzdorfer, Shlita, speaks every Shabbos 5 minutes before Misav. And he said, again, the whole Besmedrash, the whole community was shaken, the whole world was shaken. What can we do in Dovi Schus? So he had an idea from the sons of Rebbe, was very big into the Ani Maamin. Say Ani Maamin every day, it takes 90 seconds, and let's go like that. Anyway, so that he printed out his cards, he gave whatever he had to print out before, and he gave it to the shul, about 100 balabatim there. Montreal Shabbos, I thought to myself, I should put a joke in my head. Let me see if I can get 1,000 people in the first week, 10,000 by the next week, and then we'll see where the Eibusher sends. Again, it wasn't, we didn't know where we were going to go. Anyway, Baruch Hashem, we started working on it. I started calling all my friends and contacts and cousins and whatever I could. And Baruch Hashem, we already hit 10,000 people in the first week. I didn't plan it. I didn't know where I'm going. I said, we're going to try. Again, I want to do it in Dovi Schis. Dovi was a boy who was always full of emunah. That emunah was part of his day-to-day life. That's who he was. So when the Ruf gave this idea, I thought, what can we do in Dovi Schis? I want to try to build from there. And again, I didn't know where we're going to go. Today we're at over 100,000 people already. We printed over 120,000 cards, and we're going to keep going. And the Eibusher gave him koiches.
It was a tremendous tragedy that really shook people. And very often when people go through these types of nisyonos, their immediate reaction is to become inhibited. They lock themselves away and they deal with their challenge in their own way, and far be it from anyone like me to understand what it means and how difficult it is. And seemingly you and your Rebbetzin went the other way. And you kind of opened yourself up to Klal Yisrael. And not only did you share your tsar with Klal Yisrael, but you shared your emunah and betachin. And it's just really, it's mind-boggling. Where did you get the inner fortitude and the strength, not only not to lock yourself up and to, just become immersed in depression, but to almost like you were being mechazik other people? Where do you get that strength from?
Again, Adam the Eibusher give koyach and nachamul koyach. We're trying. It's not easy. It's nobody should ever get challenged with the challenge that we're getting. But at the end of the day, we're coming from a Babas and Zaydas. Me and my wife, we came from Holocaust survivors, which rebuilt. Everybody got rebuilt after the war. We learned from our grandparents. We learned from our parents. So when something of this magnitude happens, you don't know where you're getting the koiches from, and we don't know. We're just going one day at a time, one step at a time. I can't wrap my head around it. I don't understand what happened over here. This is what the Eibusher wanted them. I try to be mechazik, and I'm trying to be mechazik myself, and I want to build zechusim. Again, I started saying we want to build zechusim for Dovi, but the way it's progressing, yes, we're building zechusim for Dovi. We want to help everybody, but it's giving chizik for the Klal Yisrael also. And Dovi was a kind of boy that was always there for everybody. He was such a loving, giving boy. He was a smart boy. He lived to have anur from other people. So now, we reach the point, again, the Eibusher, I'm on the path. I'm not controlling this. I'm just going and doing my shtadlis and trying to do the best I can.
Yeah.
And that's what we're trying to be mechazik in Dovi's ches.
The immediate reaction when you first learned of Dovi's ptira, I know there's a probably very sensitive moments, but what was that like when you first heard that your lichtige Dovi, who so many people felt such love for, that's all we heard. What was that like?
It's beyond comprehension. I mean, you're in shock. You're in the emotion that's going through. You can't physically understand it. You can't wrap your head around it. But I kept on trying to repeat myself again and again. Eibishter für die Welt, Eibishter für die Welt. And it's very hard, and that's what we're trying to constantly be mechazik with. I mean, I'm very close to Reb Yochanan was square da in Shlita, and he spoke to us right before we even said Shiva, and to give us a chizik, and he said, "Madaf zach mechazik zan, and madaf chazaren." You got to repeat, and you're chazering, and you try. Again, like I said, this is part of the thing that we want to get the chizik and the emunah. It doesn't happen overnight. When you grow up with grandparents and parents, and you see, and every person goes through challenges. This is the biggest challenge we went through our life, and we need the chizik and the emunah in order by believing the Eibishter feed the Welt, that this is what's happening. It helps you deal with it. Is it fixed? No. Can I understand what happened? No. But this is what Eibishter wanted, and I got to constantly be mechazik myself.
People commented to me they never saw Shiva like Dovi Shiva. If you remember the video clips that went out of the Olam singing, b'bchiyah, people were crying, and they broke out in song. It was almost a dichotomy where it was the most tragic of situations. But within your home, people were walking out so mechuzik.
So again, we started singing, just to give you a little background, the way it started. I'm just sitting there, and again, I was just putting a lot of drugs in my head lately. Here, another shliach, and I'm seeing the full room here of hundreds of people in the room. A lot of Dovi's friends were there, and I said, let's start singing one of Dovi's favorite songs. And we started singing Ani Maamin. This was nothing, we didn't pick the Ani Maamin, it just came naturally. And when I was singing that, I remember telling my son who was sitting next to me, and we singing the Ani Maamin, sitting Shiva there, I said, Dovi is with us now, he's singing with us. That's mamash how I felt. And again, we were singing with tears, we were singing, but we wanted to get the chizik. We were getting the chizik from the Ani Maamin. Ani Maamin's been here for I don't know, when was Ani Maamin now?
Since the time the Rambam wrote to Yud Gimel.
So that's it. So it's not something that's happened. I've been saying Ani Maamin for many years. And my kids, I never told my kids to say it, but they've been saying it also. Just because they see I'm saying it, so they're saying it. So that, you want it to be part of you. And the more you say it, the more it gets part of natural. Natural. There's nothing natural when the tragedy happens, but you want to be mechazik yourself.
If anything, it's supernatural. Really. Both the tragedy itself and the reaction to the tragedy, to me, are both supernatural. The Ribono Shel Olam gave us a gift in you and your Rebbetzin and your family as role models, really, in the way you're responding to it in such an amazing way. And this new book, which Amir Hashem is going to just expand your influence and Dovi's influence even further, to inspire people to learn Ani Maamin, to understand Ani Maamin, to internalize Ani Maamin, make it really part of their everyday, is just a continuation of this mission that you've taken on. Talk about how this book evolved. I know it's based on shiurim that Rabbi Yecheskel Elias in Montreal has given. Talk about how that idea evolved to make it into a tangible book that people could benefit from.
So after the Ruf gave that shmooze on Shabbos, so the Olam was talking about the Ani Maamin and said, okay, well, let's do it. This is the shul. So Reb Cheskel says, do people understand what Ani Maamin is all about? How much background is behind Ani Maamin? And the answer was no, we didn't. And he started giving a shiurim twice a week, starting, from pretty much from when we got up from Shiva. And to be honest, I couldn't even go to the shiurim in the beginning. It was just too hard for me. But he was doing it to learn, and the Olam was coming, it was short shiurim every week. But once we started understanding it more, people got the chizik people were getting from it. And then I also started appreciating it. Again, I appreciated it from day one that he did it. It's very much appreciated. But the goal was just to give a shir to teach the local oilam. And as we're getting more into it, and we're seeing there's so much more to the Ani Maamin, he says, why? Let's spread it. Let's get it out there. Let's not just give it for our immediate community. Why give it out to the world? Again, this is part of the Dovi Steinmetz. We gave it a name. We never had no name. The Dovi Steinmetz Ani Maamin initiative. It's part of, and I said by Shiva, I didn't know where we're doing, what we're doing. I said one thing. I said, the Metz Hashem and Dovi Schiz, the whole world's going to know about Dovi Steinmetz.
And you've printed over 100,000 Ani Maamin cards.
Correct.
And apparently it's still going, right?
It's still going. We got to hit the million.
Metz Hashem.
Metz Hashem.
You're spreading this message of emunah. Was there one particular Ani Maamin or a component of an Ani Maamin that resonated more with you now? Once, after Rabbi Eli started giving a shir and that you heard an insight or a piece of inspiration, anything that spoke to you?
No, all the Ani Maamins, it was as a general Ani Maamin. People ask me, which Ani Maamin do you prefer? I tell you, I look at a different one. The one at Tchias HaMesim is a lot closer to my heart at this point, you know. Right, but I was like Mechazek on the whole, on everyone. It's people called me initially when I started getting the word out. Which Ani Maamin should we say? Right. I said every single one. We don't know. We never looked into the depth of the Ani Maamin. Well, that's what we're trying to I don't know myself.
It's an amazing thing. That it's such a fundamental part of Yiddishkeit that you've been zeichet to almost give a rebirth, like a rejuvenation of something that's so fundamental and basic. That's really a phenomenal schos.
I'm trying. The Eibush has to give koyach, and we're trying again. We started doing it in Dovi Schiz, but we want to do whatever we can, and it's a kiddush Hashem.
As part of this initiative to spread Ani Maamin, I know that you established a website, animaamin.net. What's on the website and what other creative initiatives are you working on?
So actually the way the shiurim started, we didn't know what we're going to do. We said we're going to put a website and we're going to be able to upload the shiurim, we can spread it that way. Then actually the book came along and we said let's do the book as well, and we have shiurim which are uploaded to the website. First of all, there's a little bit of a biography of Dovi that people should understand who Dovi was. The person he was full of life, full of agitzkeit, shavkeit. That it gives an idea. I said whoever's helping and being part of the Ani Maamin, they're not just doing it for me, and they're doing it for Dovi. Again, for me it's nothing. I'm just a shliach. But they're going to get chizik from it themselves. I get dozens and dozens of messages every week. People from all walks of life, from all different, whether it's Litvish, Hasidish, American, modern. I have people which are barely keeping Shabbos. They tell me they get inspired by it. They don't even know the Ani Maamin. Some of them can't read, but they heard the Ani Maamin is to believe that there's. So it gives them chizik. Wow. So I have to keep going. It's just now I started something and I'm getting back the response. I don't have a choice. And so we opened the website. It's up and running, animaamin.net. And
people can hear the shiurim.
People can hear all the shiurim on there that was initially recorded. And there's another shiurim from Shabbat from Rabbi Kranzer, and there's another. I think we're just going to keep going. That's just we've just got started. We don't even know where we're heading. Right. I didn't know I'm going to be here.
It's unbelievable what you've turned into in a course of a year. You've turned the most unspeakable tragedy into a revolution, a campaign of chizuk and emunah, of chizuk that people are taking in their own individual nisyonis. That's what I'm hearing. Whether it's shidduchim, whether it's tzar gedobanim, whether it's whatever the challenge is, and that's all in your schos and Dovi's schos, your Rebbetzin schos. So you should continue to have the strength, like you said. The Rebbeinu Shalom should continue to give you koyach, lasei chayil, to keep fighting the good fight, to keep spreading the messages, the positive messages. And we thank you again for a few minutes.
To give you a little story of an Ani Maamin. I was davening a shul, and a guy came over to me. I don't know who he is. He doesn't know why. He knew who I was. Mr. Steinmetz, I was telling you, I'm going through a very hard time. I know about your Ani Maamin. I've been seeing it in shul for the past few months, but I had a personal, very hard parsha. I took the Ani Maamin, ich habe es gesucht mit Tränen. He said, es hat mir mamisch geholfen. Again, this is random strangers coming up to me. And I get this every week. People calling me, they feel inspired, it helps them. So again, as much as I appreciate people saying the Ani Maamin, because people come over, I said the Ani Maamin, I said it's okay. I'm not checking you guys. It's all good, but it gives them chizik, and that's again I'm giving Klal Yisrael. This is not me. I'm just the shliach. We're all passengers on the train. The Eibishter feed the Welt, and we're just going to keep going. And like I say, alle bruchas. You tell me to give koyach. I say darf the Eibishter koyach, noch more koyach.
Well, you're a soldier of the Rebbeinu Shloime, and you're carrying out this mission in very inspiring fashion. So we thank you.
Oh, man. Thank you for having me.
Yashakayach.